Many live their life void of meaning and purpose. There's this pressure that society puts on you to become something that you're not. Adele Nightingale said it perfectly, that the problem of mankind is lack of courage. And the opposite of lack of courage is not cowardice, it's conformity. Some of you are conformists. Some of you detest the idea of individualism. Some of you are so terrified of your own opinion that you doubt the answer. Say they ask the question, maybe in a classroom. I assume most of you are of the younger demographic. The question is asked in the classroom. You know the exact answer. It could be placed right in front of you, but you don't say it. Why? Oh, what would they think of me? Maybe they would see me as someone who's overdoing it. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to be the antagonist of this class. Therefore, I would keep my mouth shut. It's a terrible position to be in. You see, I'll tell you a quick story. I remember in the early days of my life, I had a lot of vision, purposeful individual. Anything I did was directing me towards my goal. Any other thing than that, I saw as an impediment. And I still am very visionful. I have purpose and I'm working towards it. However, I noticed something very strange. Everyone within my circumference began to antagonize me. What was the problem? I'll tell you. My confidence was intimidating because I don't talk shit, I don't entertain rubbish conversation, I do not engage in conversation about women or talk bullshit or the latest hot model or who just lost his life, as sympathetic as that might sound. I don't do none of that. So any question you ask that I pronounce as stupid, I wouldn't respond. I'll simply ignore you. So every single person began to antagonize me, began to hate me. And as humans, we are not designed to forbear hate on a long enough time frame. That's why anybody we see who goes against that tide is celebrated, not just in society, but in the world at large. I said to myself, so if I accept their opinion and pretend I'm like them, would I gain acceptance? It's worth a try. And with every smile, I bestowed on a boring joke. With every rubbish conversation I entertained, I felt genuine discomfort internally. But another remarkable thing happened after 5 days of changing. Everything changed. All of a sudden, I was invited to different activities. Bro, let's go to the field. Bro, let's go do this. Oh, there's a video game competition here. Let's go there. Let's go this. Let's do. I was now being shown female pictures. You know, like you be in a group and your body pops out his phone. Hey bro, what do you think of this person? I had never gone through that experience. I was so focused, and I still am. You might gain the acceptance, you might gain the comfort, but I'm telling you, my friend, that is a terrible place to be. Along the line, I discovered that this is pointless. Why would I waste years of my human consciousness talking about shit that will move me towards, that's not making me any money? I reverted back And the problem with reverting back, the problem with going down the rabbit hole of degeneracy is the same amount of time you spent journeying that rabbit hole is the exact same amount it will take to climb out. So if you spend years and years in decadence, it will take years and years for you to revert back. Now, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm not advocating for you to remain in one spot. But as a wise man said, phenomenal Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 5 years ago. The second best time is now. So start now. Start taking the bold steps. Start making the actions. And something I discovered in my own journey, because I'm a very smart individual, so it didn't take me as much time to retrace my steps because I never forgot how I got there in the first place. That's one thing. You retrace your steps quickly if you know the direction. In every journey, direction as well as speed is an advantage. If it takes 20 minutes for me to journey from here to China, and by some providence I lost my GPS or I have no idea, you have to slow down. So once you lack direction, the first thing you lose is speed. You have to slow down. Start asking questions. Start asking questions, looking for direction. And the same thing applies towards your goals. When you lack vision, when you listen to a motivational speech and decide to take action without creating a concrete goal of what all these actions are laddering up to, you discover you are in a constant reviewer process. The moment something goes wrong, you lose hope, you lose vision, you lose motivation. But vision was supposed to be the motivation. Vision was supposed to be the encouraging factor. Vision in this case represents the serpent. And I forget what led up to the context of that story. But for some reason, serpents littered the camp of the Israelites. They cried unto Moses, "Help us! Help us!" They said. Moses went to God. How do we do this? Create an artificial serpent, place it up, and all who fix their gaze upon it shall be, or the serpent shall not have power against all who fix their gaze upon it. Moses did as instructed and communicated the instruction. Imagine how difficult it is for you to hear someone whom this serpent just beat, crying, shedding tears, dying from his venomous poison, and the same object of destruction approaches you and you're forced to fix your gaze as one thing. Most of you just read that scripture but ignore the implication. They didn't fix their gaze alone. They allowed another reality to superimpose their current situation. Some of you, when you begin to march towards your most coveted goals, discouragement here and there, the rent is late, someone tries to discourage you. The moment you begin to focus on your current situation, on the current limitation, on what is there and what is not, it hurts you. I want everybody to take a test. I want you all to take this test very, very seriously. Write out every single thing that has hurt you in the past. And mind you, a quick hack to fix all of that is no one can make you feel insecure without your permission. I'll state that as a fact. This is not to encourage complacency or laziness, because that's the extreme. Once you've never felt confident before about your current situation, and I show you how to do it by this way, you become so overconfident such that it leads to complacency, which is not where I want you to be. I want you to be comfortable in your situation, but discomforted enough to change it. So being comfortable is enough to avoid the criticism of mankind and people within your circumference, but you should be motivated enough to change it. Let's face it, being muscular would always be better than being skinny. Being rich would always invariably be better than poor. You're poor now, but it shouldn't discourage you to get rich. Disregard all of these limiting beliefs and take on the helm of your destiny, which is the first thing. No one can make you feel insecure without your permission. So list every single thing that makes you feel insecure. And I want you to take a very drastic step. This step, for some of you, is the answer to the problem of discipline. This answer, once applied, would immune you from lack of motivation and the problems of life. This answer I share with you is having a vision. Place your vision where you can see it, such that when the serpent decides to litter your camp, you have something to fix your gaze at. This is the secret to success. I can share with you countless of stories when I could have given up. I remember one time, true story, I fasted from 6 to 12. As a result of my dedication, I stretched to 1 p.m. After that fasting, you would think when I go out to charge my phone, because there was no electricity in the apartment, I had to walk 2 kilometers to charge my devices, which is a whole different story. I don't want to mess it up, just so you get the context that led up to that situation. On my way to charge my phone, you would think some destiny helper would spot me, the visionary young man, here's XYZ, manage XYZ, or I would see some kind of reward on the floor. Guess what happened? On my way to go charge my phone, I fell inside the gutters. Fell inside, 3 feet in, with my laptop, which I was able to throw up on the pavement while I went down in dirt. Luckily for me, there was a borehole just 3 steps away. Went there, washed myself up while thinking of my vision, while thinking of the amazing things I'll be doing. Washed myself up, fired on, charged my laptop, went back to the house. So instead of wasting that time, the time I would use in waiting for my devices to get up to the point of usage, I would just find any kind of material and occupy myself, as opposed to thinking of how bad this is or bemoaning my situation. Purpose can immune you. Every single one of you should sustain a purpose for your life. It will work wonders, magic if you like. Some of you are asking the question, well, if someone can just show me what my purpose is, I promise to work day in, day out. Or if someone can give me something, just a single goal, just a single purpose, I promise to give it my all. Trust me, I was in that same scenario as you. If I could just find one thing. I'm not tall enough, so basketball isn't an option. When you see the Kobe Bryants and how they dedicated every single ounce of their energy to the sport, you are inspired. Your thought is, if play basketball, something as easy as basketball or football or something that is within my grasp, I would give it my all. I'm about to review how to get your own basketball. So listen very carefully, because some of you are so useless. I guarantee you watching me, if someone were to come along, walk through that door, buddy, let's go get gas, you would go. You would get up, put on your dirty t-shirts, your peasant sneakers, and you would accompany him. That's how useless some of you are. And I say useless not as an insult. If you hate that word, then stop fitting into the description. This is the problem with society. They try to correct the effect as opposed to the cause. If I say you're a poor man, instead of bemoaning that word and getting upset with me, why don't you agree and say, yes, I am poor? Then I would stop fitting into that category, because anytime someone utters it, it pisses me off. And you get up and do something about it. What I'm about to share with you is how to find your purpose. One of the ways you discover your purpose is to first sustain the idea that it is within you. We like to view purpose as something external, as though you go on a quest to discover it and you're looking for clues along the way. A key way, which is the only thing I'll give you today because of time, I intend on making this video as concise as possible, is indicators. If you see someone with a hammer, who is that person? A carpenter. If you see someone with a stethoscope, who is that? A doctor. One of the ways you discover your purpose is what you gravitate towards, not your passion. Passion is something you enjoy. What you gravitate towards might be an activity you suck at, but you enjoy it. For some of you, you listen to me speak and it motivates you. Something within you, it resonates. It's like deep falling onto deep. You feel excited as you hear me speak, because this is the potential you can develop. That's where hard work comes into play. But if you're motivated enough to become the best version of yourself, then discipline won't be a problem. And as always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. See you in the next one.